Hello everyone, this is Sucharita B studying Computer Science in Sri Venkateswara College of Engineering. So the topic I will be covering is insertion sort from arrays. The topics covered will be insertion sort using C, working principle, logic, and insertion sort program. So sorting means arranging the elements in an ascending or descending order. Talking about insertion sort, the main idea behind this is it inserts each item into its proper place in the final list. You can consider a deck of cards because while playing you arrange them in a specific order according to your convenience. So talking about working principle, let us know what is an array. An array is a collection of elements, and if we have to arrange these elements in a specific order, we will be using many sorting ways. Here today we will be talking about insertion sort. So in this method, the first element of the array is assumed to be in the correct position and it is compared with the next element. If they are not in order, they are interchanged. Then the third position element is compared with the second element. If they are not in order, they are interchanged. And again first and second is compared and arranged. And it goes on until the condition is false. This working principle will be continuously going and executing the statements. So here we will be going to learn to sort the elements in ascending order, that is smaller to greater value. So here we have two rows. In the bottom row we have 5 values 4, 3, 2, 5 and 1. Above that we have numbers 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. Those are the memory addresses of the bottom values. That is, A is the array name. In the memory address A of 0, number 4 is stored, and so on. So while starting to compare, we start from A of 1 because 3 is checked with 4 and then they are interchanged. If we begin from A of 0, there is no other preceding value for 4 to be checked with. So we begin from I is equals to 1. Talking about logic, here we use nested loop, that is while loop under for loop. So for loop, we begin I is equals to 1. As previously said, we start comparing from A of 1. So I value is 1. I value means index value. This index variable contains the value which we use to compare it with other value. So it is checked if it is less than the size of the array, which is n, then it is incremented and kept aside for the second iteration. It gets into the loop, then the value in A of I memory address is stored in a temporary variable. This temporary variable can be any variable. Then there is j variable. The value of j is found out and this j value is compared with the I value to check if the condition is true or not. So we check the while condition j is greater than or equal to 0 and which is logical and if A of j value is greater than the temporary variable value. If both the conditions are true, it will enter to the while loop or else it won't enter. And in the while loop, the value of A of j will be stored to A of j plus 1. J will be decremented. It will come out of the loop if j is equals to minus 1 or if j is equals to 0 or greater than 0, again while loop will be tested and executed the statements. And then finally the temporary variable will be stored in A of j plus 1 memory address. And then again for loop will be executed. So let us understand this logic with an example. We have the same example. In the first pass, I will be 1. It will start from for I is equals to 1. I is less than n, that is 1 is less than the size of the array 5, true. I will be incremented and kept aside for the second iteration. Then it will enter the loop. Temporary variable will have value of A of I. A of I means A of 1. In A of 1 there is the value 3. So 3 will be stored in the temporary variable. J value is found out which is I minus 1, which is 1 minus 1, it is 0. Then while j is greater than or equal to 0, 0 greater than or equal to 0, true. Along with that, A of j is greater than temporary. In A of j, A of 0 we have 4. 4 is greater than temporary variable has 3. 4 is greater than 3, true. It will enter the loop. Then A of j plus 1 is equals to A of j. That is in A of j, A of 0 we have number 4. 4 will be stored in A of 0 plus 1, that is A of 1 memory address. That is it is interchanged. And then j value is decremented, that is j is equals to j minus 1, which is 0 minus 1 equals to minus 1. Since there is no memory location of A of minus 1, index value is placed in the memory location A of 0. That is, it will come out of the while loop and 3 will be stored in A of 0, as we can see in the second and third table. Third table is the final sorted in the first pass. So in the second pass, I value will be equal to 2 because I will be incremented. So 2 is less than 5, true. 2 plus plus 2 will be incremented and kept aside. Then 2 value will be stored in the temporary variable because a of 2 contains number 2. And then j value is found out, which is 2 minus 1, 1. Then while condition is checked, while 1 is greater than or equal to 0, true. And then 4, which is in the memory address a of 1, is it greater than 2? Yes, it is true. Then it will enter the loop. A of 1 value will be stored in the memory address A of 2. A of 1 value is 4, so it will be stored in A of 2. And hence J will be decremented, that is J will be equal to 0. And here, after interchanging, 2 value will not be directly placed in the memory address A of 1. It will be again checked with its preceding value, that is 3, and then it will be placed in accordance with the condition if it is true or false. So since we got j value as 0, it will again enter the while loop. While 0 is equal to 0, true. And then is 3 greater than 2, true. It will enter the loop. Then a of 0 value will be stored in the location a of 1. A of 0 had 3 value, right? That is the number 3 will be stored in a of 1. Then j will be decremented 0 minus 1, that is minus 1. Since a of minus 1 is not there, it will come out of the loop, and in a of 0, number 2 will be stored, and it will be arranged in this way: 3, 2, 4, 5, 1. So in the third pass, I value is incremented to 3, and then the conditions are checked and it is arranged. And in the third pass, the final arranged order is 2, 3, 4, 5, and 1. So when coming on to fourth pass, I value will be incremented and become 4. I is equals to 4, 4 less than 5, 4 plus plus. It will enter the loop. A of 4 contains number 1. So 1 will be stored in the temporary variable. J value becomes 3, while 3 greater than or equal to 0 and 5 greater than 1. It is true, it will enter the loop, and 5 value will be interchanged with 1 and it will be stored in address A of 4. Then J value will be decremented, it will become 2. Again it will go to while loop and then again execute all the statements within the while loop if the condition is true. As I explained in the second pass, it is similar to that. So again, after interchanging 1 with 5, 1 will be checked with 4. Again, it will be checked with 3. So finally, I value will be checked with 2. And here while iteration will be happened for 4 times. So finally, j value would have become 0, 0 greater than or equal to 0 and 2 greater than 1. Then 2 will be interchanged with 1 and will be stored in the memory address A of 1. J value will become minus 1, come out of the loop, and 1 will be stored in the memory address A of 0. And the final order after sorting will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here actually I will still get incremented to 5, but 5 is not less than 5. So for loop will not work and it will come out of the loop and the final value will be 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So here is a programming example, and in this programming example we use functions, and for the function name the data type we use is void because we only want it to represent the information on the screen but not take any values input or return any value. So if we enter the elements, the size is 5 and the same example elements have entered, the sorted array is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So over here we have another example executed, that is size of the array is 6 and the elements are 4, 3, 7, 2, 9, 6. So the sorted array will be 2, 3, 4, 6, 7, 9. Similarly, if we want it in the descending order, the logic is this one. This is the program for the descending order and the output is shown over here, that is 2, 1, 3 and 3, 2, 1. Thank you.